This is the disembodied voice of Dan St.Yves, and today I'm with the cast and director of Artist Collective Theatre's production of In the Next Room, or the Vibrator play by Sarah Ruhl. This will be running at the Village Theatre from April 9th to 18th. And the first person I have is playing Sabrina Daldry. Say hello, Samantha Breitenbach.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very good. And Sabrina Daldry is kind of a key role in this one.
Yeah, so she's getting the treatments from the doctor. So it's pretty exciting.
She apparently has a bit of hysteria, which gets treated.
Hysteria. Yeah, so she has hysteria, which is a common ailment for women of that time, which was basically a catch-all diagnosis. So if you had any kind of issues, yeah, you have hysteria. So she had hysteria and troubles with the hubby and stuff like that in a loveless marriage. So she finds happiness within herself throughout the show, and it's lovely.
So this is the dawning of the age of mechanics, so to speak. Right. We're taking things from the manual version of being able to treat this condition into the very first electronic version.
Yeah, exactly. To the powered versions.
But there's apparently quite a bit of humor as well as
absolutely
some serious parts as well.
Absolutely, it's very funny as well. So there are some very serious moments and there are very, very funny moments as well. That'll sometimes catch you by surprise as well. Yeah. Next
is Ben Francis, who will be playing Leo Irving in this production. Ben, we've seen you in several act productions, Almost Maine. You had a bit of a calmer, more subtle humor through some of your characters. Then in Sylvia, or Who is the Goat, you were a little more hysterical and some more dimensions to your character there. Yeah. What can we expect from Leo?
Well, Leo is a young artist. He's come to America from England, where he had a bit of a rough affair. And finds he can no longer paint. He's in a bit of a creative rut. And so he's come to the Dr. Givings to see if he can't fix it so he can paint again.
And he suffers from something called male hysteria.
That's right, yeah. It's quite rare, but we do see it. So.
How much do we get to? Is most of this left to our imagination on the treatment side of things, or?
Oh no. We see how it is treated. Yeah.
And Leo is not one of the married couples in this.
Oh no.
So.
Not the marrying type.
Next up is Paul Welch, who will be the director for this production. Paul's got a very diverse career, one of the top 40 under 40 in Avenue magazine, 15-year career as an award-winning actor, writer, director, educator, and arts administrator. Past directing credits include the Queer Theatre Creation Ensemble projects of This Is How I Left, nominated for a Critter Award for Best New Script. And now you're settling in for a Vibrator play. How does that sound?
It's been exciting. It's quite a spectrum that I get to play in this world of theater, which is great. Yeah.
So this is more, of course, than just moving people around. You get to interpret Sarah's original play. Do you take much liberties with that, or?
You always take some liberties. I mean, there are stage directions given to us that try to capture the original ideas that were being shared in the first production, or at least the published script production of the show. But for us, it's really what is it that we want to find in this story? What's speaking to us, and how do we support that? How do we find ways to bring that to the surface, bring that forward, and help tell the story in the best possible way?
I forget how old the play is. It's a few years, though.
It's been around, I think, since 2009, I believe, is when it came out. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So how do you feel that it will play for the audience in 2015? Are there changes you had to make at all, or?
Not to the script, no. That's copyright infringement, so we stay away from that. For us, it's what really speaks to us as a collective, as a group, and what are we interested in exploring. In my own artistry, the concepts of shame, identity, and belonging surface a lot. So I tend to dig into those concepts and themes and see how they resonate with the characters and what they're attempting to explore. And usually they're fairly universal themes. We're all struggling with them to some degree or another, and oftentimes it speaks strongly to every story that we encounter.
Eric Pettifor, we have talked to in the past for some of his other appearances with Act Theatre. Tell us a little bit about your role here as Dr. Givings for this play.
Well, Dr. Givings is a scientist, as scientists were in the 19th century, when science was still really cool, before we'd seen quite so many of the horrors and evils of it. And that's pretty much, very much his character and who he is. He lives in that world. And has perhaps it's a bit more challenging for him in the world of the heart, which is the world that his wife inhabits.
And in that world, he helps people overcome their problems, but perhaps misses out on helping his own wife.
Yes, well, his wife is probably the most hysterical character in the play, but he doesn't perceive that. He perceives her as being perfectly healthy. And the nature of hysteria is such that it's just anything. It's like Sam was saying, it's a catch-all.
Basically, your wife is frustrated with you as the husband, and trying to get a little bit excited about their first orgasms with a machine rather than the husband in the missionary position. Is this something that presents a challenge for your character, or you remain oblivious until...
My character is fairly clueless. It's Mrs. Givings who really develops the insight and sees a connection between physical intimacy, shall we say, and love, which is she teaches her husband that ultimately, I think.
So there is a moral to this and a good outcome at the end.
Yes, I guess the moral is not just getting off is not enough. At the end of the day, we need that relationship
Connection.
Yeah.
Well, how do I end better than that? Wonderful.